Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Cask 529. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
And tonight, we've got a show that Shona has put together, so I'm going to let her take it from here.
I do. So, a couple weeks ago, Bryan drugged me out bourbon hunting on a Saturday. And as we've said before, I like Woodford Reserve. And so, of course, you know, by the time we got to this store, most of the allocated bottles were gone. They did have some Weller Green Label left. But also back on their little tray, they had this beautiful bottle of Woodford Reserve, which is the 2023 Masters Collection Batch Proof. And for 2023, it's 124.7 proof. Now, I, of course, had to do some research on this because, of course, I snatched it right up. It was in the $150 range here in Ohio. But I had to do some research on it because, honestly, that's the first I had ever seen it or even really heard about it. And so I guess Woodford Reserve started releasing batch proofs in 2018. And this year's, they say, is a little bit higher than previous years. I looked back the last few years. This year being the 124.7 proof. 2022 was 118.4 proof. 2021 was actually higher at 128.3 proof. And then 2020 was 123.6 proof. So they're all pretty high proofs. Just last year's was, you know, a little bit lower at 118 compared to the 124. So it was said that this year the proof was a little bit higher than the previous year due to the barrels being drawn from the upper floor of Woodford's heat cycled warehouses where they possess a higher proof, which I always love this term, which is presented due to the higher angel share process that is found up there. And so tonight we're having obviously the neck pour because I just opened this tonight. I was kind of hesitant about opening it.
We're excited though, I know that.
But we definitely wanted to open it because I'm not the type, Bryan sometimes is, but I'm not the type that says, oh, I only have one bottle of that, I can't open it. Because if I bought it, then I want to obviously enjoy it.
And let's be honest, Shona didn't know about this bottle, but I've been looking for this bottle for her for over a year. And so when we saw it in the store, I couldn't believe it. She'd never heard of it, but obviously we brought it home with us.
Yep. And so tonight, oh, I did want to say one more thing about this that I learned. This is actually made with the same grain bill as what the Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon is made of. Only, of course, it is proofed down at 90.4. So knowing that I do like the Kentucky Straight Bourbon, I'm hoping that, you know, I'll like this the same. But in addition to that, this past weekend, I worked on a little game / board for Bryan, and he knows nothing about this. And I even put it on a little Lazy Susan so that we could spin it. So what this is, it actually has a tasting, it's a bourbon tasting wheel to help us hopefully, you know, identify like different things that we are tasting within the bourbon. Now, I would say also smelling, but Bryan, of course, has a hard time with that part of it. And I always get stumped because I know I can taste things, but I can't, it doesn't come to my mind when I'm tasting. So I'm hoping that this might help us identify what it is we're tasting just by seeing it. But I wanted to play a little game with this.
Of course.
I'm a little bit competitive sometimes, and so is Bryan. Maybe not as much as I am, but so I thought, and I'm just explaining this to Bryan tonight, I thought what we could do, and it's not really going to be based on smell because that's not fair to you, So just on taste alone, what hits our palate. I thought if we could, how many ever we can think we can pick out, even if, I guess you're guessing, we each have pennies, 3 pennies. Mine are heads up, yours are tails up. And we can place these on what we think that we're tasting.
Okay.
And then I will pull up tasting notes that I find for this to see if either of us got what the tasting notes say that we should be getting. Granted, everybody gets different notes. I mean, it's not going to, but I felt that that's the fairest way to identify, the competition. Then whoever, we're not going to subtract points. If you don't get any right, you just don't get any points. If you get 2 of them, then you get 2 points.
Okay.
And so I just figured we'll keep track of this every time we play and see who gets the highest points.
And I noticed you have your pennies turned heads up, and mine are turned tails up.
Yep.
So make sure you remember yours are heads.
Yep. I remember.
Okay.
So
Sounds fun.
now we get the enjoyment of hopefully tasting this.
The long overdue, long awaited. I've been asking her for 2 weeks, when are we going to open that?
So on the nose, I think I'm honestly getting like a butterscotchy type.
So it's really interesting to me because, as you know, I get like a cool sensation or I get heat, but this is kind of a burst of somewhere in between. Like, I think it's going to be a lot of flavor.
I definitely think you're right, and it smells very good, very sweet. It smells, it definitely doesn't smell like fingernail polish remover.
No. And I don't sense any gasoline at all.
It is very sweet.
Wow, it is.
I also obviously get the oak. I don't get much char, but I also feel like I think I get the spice, like
Definitely, I get the spice. Like, I won't even call that necessarily a heat or a burn. It's definitely spice. I mean.
So I may move these after I taste it a second time, but I think I'm picking up some leather. I want to say right now, maybe some black pepper, but I may change that. I felt like I smelled like the butterscotch on it, but I don't know if I tasted that. But I definitely taste some vanilla.
I actually taste corn. And it's busy. There's so much.
It is very busy.
I'm going to say honey.
I personally am not picking up any fruits
No, I
or
don't.
floral.
I don't get any fruit. Definitely don't get any fruit. It's not to say we're not missing it, but the strongest thing to me that I'm getting so far is the spice. However, the honey to me is,
On that one, and I could be dreaming, I'm going to have another sip, but I almost feel like I'm picking up, and I don't think, I don't want to guess this because I think it might be wrong. I'm looking at this conifer section here, and I almost feel like it's not cedar, but I think it might be pine, but then I'm like, is it really pine? Do you taste anything like that?
I don't think it'd be pine. I don't think.
I almost feel like I'm picking up almonds too in the aftertaste.
I could see that.
I need more pennies. Because this one I'm picking up all kind. I like. Okay.
Yeah, and we've had some where we only needed 1 penny.
But I really like this board because as I'm looking at these, I'm like, oh, I think I could taste some of that.
Yeah. Without knowing that that's what it is, you can almost recognize it.
I definitely get the spice. I'm worried I might have it wrong. I'm picking up the almonds.
You know, I told you that I didn't get any fruit. But that last sip, I almost felt like I could pick up some apple in there. I'm going to mark apple. I'm going to mark it.
So before I look up the tasting notes, one, like I said, I think this was it around 155? I should have looked that part up.
See, I'm thinking
let me look that up.
I'm thinking we paid 135 for it.
No.
It's interesting what you said about the proofs being different every year, because I think it was yesterday on one of the bourbon pages I follow, a guy had posted 3 bottles of this, and they were all 3 different proofs, and I couldn't understand why, and of course he didn't explain anything as to why, but I thought they were different bottles.
So this year's bottle is actually a 700 ml bottle. I think previous years were probably a 750 ml.
Okay.
But this year's 700 ml is $149.99 in Ohio. That's the
So that's,
The
I mean, that's
MSRP.
what we paid for it then.
Yep. So it's 150. If you can still find it.
Our first trip to the Bourbon Trail was in February of last year. And we went to Woodford. She got a bottle of double oaked. And when we were checking out, I saw like 3 of these at the register, and I couldn't get to see what they were. I should have asked. Not sure at that point if we'd have been interested enough to even buy one, but they were that limited even at Woodford. And ever since then, I did a little research right after that, realized what it was, and I've been looking for it. So actually just over a year I was looking before we found this.
So at the $150 price range, at 124.7 proof, would you buy this again?
I think so, yes. I'll even go one better than that. I think I would buy it again prior to this being empty,
If we found it.
if we found it.
And
to be sure to have it.
I have to say I agree. I'm getting multiple flavors.
Yeah,
It's full of flavor. Obviously you're not going to drink this any other way besides neat. You would be wasting your money. This is fabulous. I definitely, and I'm shocked because I was really worried I wouldn't like it being so high of a proof, but it's so sweet.
Of the higher proofs that we've had,
That's the
here,
best.
It is the best, but it's also the spiciest.
Yeah,
of
but I
the
like
higher.
it.
Yeah, it's because we've been worried about some of the ones we bought because of the proofs, but this is the highest proof we've bought.
Yep. And it's a beautiful bottle.
It is, which I'm sure is what drew your attention to it.
No, it was the Woodford name that drew my name to
Or
it.
the 150.
No, I didn't even know how much it cost. All right, so are we ready to look up some tasting notes?
Yes, let's see what we've got. Is either of us are right, partially right? Guys, if you like what you're seeing so far, we'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We've also been posting some shorts where you'll find some interesting, fun little cocktails. We did actually post a short cocktail last night that I think we're going to do a regular video on, a bourbon margarita, which was phenomenal, really.
Okay, so I'm not finding, and I guess I should have looked at this beforehand, but it doesn't appear that Woodford has early tasting notes on this one. Besides, it says it has its trademark flavor range of sweet vanilla and toasted oak to a whole new level. But let me see, give me 1 second to see if I can find additional tasting notes, which I'm sure I will. And I did. I think, let me get past the ads.
New feature on the show, totally
Yes.
unprepared for this.
Sorry, well, I didn't want to look them up ahead of time because that would have been cheating
That's-
to you. And so I was trying to be fair. I guess, I don't know. Okay, found some. All right, so obviously I'm not going to read the aroma ones because that's not part of the game, right? So it would have been a peppery baking spice and pine. And pine.
Yep.
And I didn't put my penny there.
No, but you were sure that there was pine there.
Concise finish of leather. Ooh,
You
I did
got
get
the
that.
leather.
Cedar.
Pine and cedar.
Pine and cedar. See, I knew it was in there. And dry vanilla.
And I got absolutely none of them.
However, let me go ahead and read the aromas.
Okay.
Nutty toasted almonds, which I have, cherry, and overripe banana, but you have it on apple,
Yeah, I
don't
had
you?
it on apple.
With hints of oak, sprinkled in citrus that involves to lively pepper, which I had pepper too. But I took it off and moved it to almonds. So I was trying to get you some more points by reading the aroma.
So you totally win this one.
Yeah, so I feel like I get all 3 points.
I still get to drink the bourbon though.
You do. I think this board's going to really help me. But it's not that you're not wrong. I mean, who knows if...
Right, no,
I
you're
think
right.
everybody picks up.
Everybody's going to taste and gather. This is basically what the distiller says we should be sensing.
Right, but I feel like we have to have a consistent...
Right, oh yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Yep.
I feel... I'm going to go ahead and give you one for the corn.
Oh wow.
because it is 72% corn,
So there had to be some corn in there.
18% rye, and 10% molded barley. So I feel like you do get 1 point.
Well, thanks.
It doesn't say really anything about the honey or the
No, that's
apple.
okay.
So I think right now it's 3-1.
I'll take it.
You take it?
I'll take 3-1.
All right. All right. This is fun.
I like a good comeback.
Yeah.
No, that's
Did
great.
you like this?
This is awesome. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. This would even be a good party game.
Yeah, it would be. I just thought it was, I seen this, we were trying to come up with a way to, and obviously I know a lot of people use the tasting sheets and stuff. And so I'm not much of a journalist to take notes and stuff like that. I would never go back to them, so that would be probably a waste on my part.
Time and effort.
But as I was looking for something like that, you know, if our laser that we have out in the shop, I seen this SVG file, and I'm like, ooh, I know exactly what I'm going to do with that.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I put our little logo there just for you.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right.
Great.
So,
I guess overall, we would recommend
oh, absolutely.
if you run across this bottle and you're looking to spend $150, it's definitely, in our opinion, definitely worth it.
Most definitely. I would spend it.
And I
again.
think to this point, it's fair to say that's the most expensive bottle of bourbon we've bought.
Bourbon, yes.
Not tequila.
Not
but
tequila.
bourbon. So, by all means, if you run into that while you're out doing some bourbon hunting, definitely grab it. If not, shoot us a message.
Tell us
let
where
us
it's
know
at.
where it's at,
In Ohio.
so we can go get it. With that, I think we're going to wrap it up for the night.
I think so.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Thank you.